How come I earned 1 million this October and it's the 28th of October and I'm broke? There's a spirit behind your always earning and still broke. That's the spirit I'm describing to you. It's called mammon. Then money has a disease. The disease is called Parkinson's disease. I'm not talking about the Parkinson's disease that affects your body, where your hand starts to shake. I'm talking about Parkinson's disease that money brings to you. It's expressed in a law called the Parkinson's law in finance. It says expenses tends to rise to match income. You make 20,000 naira per month. Expenses will rise to meet this 20,000 and even overtake it, such that before the month has ended, you have done spending this 20,000 naira and you have borrowed an extra 5 or 10,000. Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is, wherever you're listening to me from. As you know, today is another episode of Young Folks Ask. So if you are joining us for the very first time, we've done a couple of episodes. Young Folks Ask is that opportunity, that time in space when we pick a question, a burning question that young people are asking that they haven't gotten the best answer for, and then I do some research on them, and then I come right here in your face and give you an answer you can never find anywhere else in the world. So without further ado, let's consider this is episode 8. Let's consider today's question. What question are young people asking? So young people ask, why am I earning but always broke? I'll take that again. Why am I earning on the one side and then I'm always broke on the other side? Why? Okay, so we're going to go deep into that. There's a lot I want to share in this episode as usual, and I'm going to try and rush through this to make sure that we get all the juice out from this topic, from this episode. And of course, if you see me looking left, I'm considering my outline to make sure that I do not miss out on any of the juicy stuff, right? Okay, so let's go right into it. Now, before I go into why you are earning and still always broke, as you know, I like to start with the background. Now, I learned something very recently from the renowned, legendary Dr. Olumide Emmanuel. If you know, you know, the real estate mogul, the pastor, he's so many things. That man is multi-talented. And I'll say one thing about him so that if this video ever gets to him, he's one of those people that has my respect in terms of aging and still relevant. Like someone is getting older and older by the day, and like vintage wine, the older is getting, the more in tune he is with the current situation, even in the world we live right now, even the current situation, even with Gen Zs, the current situation in the, you know, in the business space, in the real estate business and kingdom principle space. And I doff my cap for him. So now, without further ado, let's go straight into something he said that I listened to, and it changed my life forever. I'm sure it's going to change your mind forever as you hear it too. He said that there are 3 dimensions to money. Okay? What do you mean, sir? There are 3 dimensions to money. He says money lives in a body. Really? Money has a soul and money is a spirit. Does that sound familiar, Christian brothers and sisters? He said money lives in a body, money has a soul, and money is a spirit. Does that explain the Christian personality? The fact that me, I know I'm a spirit. This flesh is just a way of expression. This flesh you are saying, this is not me. You know, this is just how I express myself on this earth. So this is my body to express myself. This is just like a house housing me. And then I have a soul, right? You know, and then, but I am a spirit man, you know, and stuff like that. So he's now using the same analogy to describe money. And I'm like, really? Money lives in a body, money has a soul, and then money is a spirit. And I was like, let me see how it's going to get out of this one, because you know me, when you are trying to explain something or trying to get me to understand a principle, my wisdom antenna is up, and I'm like, how is he going to get away with this? Because is this really true? And he did. I mean, I was amazed, flabbergasted. What did he say? He said, okay, let me break it down to you guys. He said, money lives in a body. What is the body of money? Your naira. I wish I can. 1 second. Let me quickly see if I have some notes here. You know, we are in the what they call it. We are in the, yes, I have some notes we can use. So now look at this. So he says money lives in a body. So this is the body of money, the currency you spend. This is naira. This is two 500 naira notes. So you can have dollars, you can have pounds, you can have yuan, you can have rand or anything. So this is how money expresses itself in Nigeria. So how does money express itself in the UK? Pound sterling. How does money express itself in the US dollars? How does money express itself in Canada? Canadian dollars. So this is, it says that this is how money expresses itself in Nigeria through this note. This is 500. This is not the real money. This is not the real money. This is just how money expresses itself in Nigeria. So money has a body. This is the body of money in Nigeria called the naira. Now, he is now saying that, you understand, the money has a body part. He's now saying that money has a soul. What is the soul of money? The soul of money is the value of this money. For example, what can you do with 500 naira in Nigeria? Right, just tell me. What can you do with 500 naira in the Nigeria of today? In the Nigeria of today, what can you do with 500 naira? You can't do a lot, I'll be honest with you. Now, the value of this 500 naira in terms of what it can do is the soul of money. I'll give you another example. Now, what can $500 do? A lot, because $500 in today's whatever equals at least, let me take my calculator. Today I want to be a bit demonstrative. I want to demonstrate. So 500 times a dollar is about 1.7 plus now, but let's just use 1.7 to make it easier. Damn. So my calculator says that my calculator here says, it's not me that said it too, it's my calculator. My calculator says here that $500 is actually 850,000. $500 is 850,000. So he's saying that the soul of money is the value of money. So 500 naira is equals to $500 on one hand is equals to 850,000 naira. So that means that the soul of the naira is very, very, very inferior right now. But the soul of the US dollars, come on now, one of this dollar is going to get you 1,700 of this naira. So do they have the same soul? No, they don't. Because in terms of value, you need 1,700 of your naira to be able to equate to the value of 1 USD. So I've explained. So soul is the value. That thing, that note you are holding, is still not the soul of money is not money. It's just the value. What people call, what the value people have attached to it is the soul of money. You know. Now, if you understand that, I've talked about the body of money. I've talked about the soul. I hope I can finish this in the time allotted after, because I want you to get it. The soul of money. Now I want to talk about money is a spirit. For my Christian brothers and sisters, I'm sure you have heard it more than once that money is mammon. The spirit behind money is called mammon. The spirit behind money is called mammon. So money is actually mammon. Money is not the body, the naira and dollars that you spend, the naira and dollar notes that you spend. Money is not the soul, the value of $1, or the value of 1 naira, or the value of 1 dirham. No. Money is not soul. Money is a spirit. The spirit behind money is called mammon. Mammon. In scripture, the good book says that you shall not serve both God, or you cannot. Not that you should. It's not that you should not. You cannot. You cannot serve both God. You cannot serve both God and mammon. So it's like two masters. This is God. This is mammon. And I want to use the opportunity to say that many people think that the most dangerous spirit to fear is the devil. No, it's not the devil. It's mammon. I can take a whole series on that, but I don't have the time to go into it. So now I'm trying to go into the prophetic. Most people feel that the devil is the highest thing or being to fear. No, it's not the devil. It's actually mammon. Think about everything you've ever done that is bad. Everything you've ever had people do that is bad. What do you think is the spirit controlling that action? It's mammon. Example, rituals. The most obscene, the most incomprehensible thing that man, and when I mean man and woman, that man has done on this earth is mammon. What is the idea behind being a ritualist? It's mammon. You want to make some kind of money, and you've tried all ways to make this money. It's not coming out the way you want it. And then somebody promises you that if you kill a virgin, if you bring someone's blood, if you do XYZ, that you will get the kind of money of your dreams. And then you do that thing. What do you think is controlling you? Mammon. It's not the devil. The spirit behind the money you want is what's controlling you to do that. Think about I don't have the time now. Think about all the things that you crave after. Is it the iPhone? That iPhone that you're craving after, ladies are willing to sleep with men now are willing to sleep with, are willing to sleep with rich women to get an iPhone, to get Nike sneakers, to get what again? To get an iPad, to get what? What is the spirit behind that love for money? It's mammon. So I've told you the 3 dimensions. Let's not forget the topic. Why am I always earning but always broke? There's a spirit behind your always earning and still broke. That's the spirit I'm describing to you. It's called mammon. And then money has a disease. Now we said money has a body, right? Yes. Money lives in a body. Money has a soul. And money is a spirit. We've broken that down for you. Now we want to go one step further. And then money has a disease. I'm saying things that are probably strange to you, like, what is this guy talking about? How can money live in a body? How can money have a soul? How can money have a spirit? Or how can money be equals to spirit? What's mammon? And all those stuff. I'm going to break another thing to you now. Money has a disease. Have you ever thought about? I'm not talking about the jams in the naira note. Remember, the naira note is not money. The US dollar note is not money. So when I'm saying money has a disease, I'm talking about the spirit money that has a disease. And researchers and financial experts have discovered this disease. It's been so hidden for so many years. It affected me for so many years. The disease is called Parkinson's disease. Money has a disease, and that disease is called Parkinson's disease. I'm sure I've treated it once in one of these episodes, but I want to treat it now in another dimension. Parkinson's disease. I'm not talking about the Parkinson's disease that affects your body, where your hand starts to shake. Nah, I'm talking about Parkinson's disease that money brings to you. I'm sure I'm speaking Spanish, but stay with me. So, what is the name of this disease? It's expressed in a law called the Parkinson's law in finance. It says expenses, listen very carefully. It says expenses tend to rise. Expenses tends to rise to match income. So now this is income. You have 100,000 naira. No, you have 20,000 naira. Your expense, you make 20,000 naira per month. Expenses will rise to meet this 20,000 and even overtake it, such that before the month has ended, you are done spending this 20,000 naira and you have borrowed an extra 5 or 10,000. That's Parkinson's disease. Then you feel that it's because I'm not earning a lot of money. By the time I start earning well, there's this job I'm trying to apply for. When I get this job, this dream job, oh boy, I'm going to. Then you get the dream job and you start earning 100,000. What do you imagine? You imagine that, okay, when I was earning 20,000, I spent 30,000. Even if I now spend the 30,000 now, I will still have 70,000 in savings. Wrong. What you would do, what we all do under Parkinson's disease, is that you will just find out that your expenses will rise and meet up with your 100,000 income, and then to go to 120. So you find out that at the end of the month, within 2 weeks, you are done spending this 100,000, and you have actually spent 20,000 on top. And by the time your next salary comes, you clear that 20,000. So what you have is 80,000 for that new month. Then you're like, okay, it's the economy, it's inflation, if I start earning something really huge and big, shike now. Okay, then you start earning 500,000. You're like, this is it. Until that your 120,000 disease. There's what we call stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, stage 4 of certain diseases. You are now earning 500,000. Your expenses will actually meet up with 500 and even go to 600. You see that it's already out of the screen and go to 600. And then you find out that when your salary comes, you clear the 500 and you're still owing 100,000. So what is this phenomenon called? If you have ever experienced it, because I know you have experienced it, it's called Parkinson's disease. So more money is not going to cure the disease. Even if you start earning 1 billion, have you not seen politicians that they have made some impossible amount of money? Maybe they have like 50 billion in their account and they still keep stealing. Why? Their expenses. Maybe they fly, they have a private jet now. Maybe they have a house in Banana Island now. Maybe they fly, maybe they put their children in whatever school right now. There are activities that will rise to meet the 80 billion and even surpass it. They will even get in debt. Let me tell you, do you know that Michael Jackson, who sold out concerts upon concert, I don't think anybody has met him in terms of earnings. Do you know that Michael Jackson, the legend, was actually broke at some point? Can you just imagine the kind of money this man was making, selling out every concert, and yet at the tail end of his life, he was broke, he was in debt. Does that make sense to you now? So I want to use this to say that no matter how, can you earn up to what Michael Jackson said? No matter how, or what Michael Jackson earned, no matter how much you earn, Parkinson's disease will catch up with you unless you do something about it. What is that something to do? Number 1, track your expenses. So we are back to answering the question, earning but always broke. This is what you should do. What should you do to stop being broke, to cure your Parkinson's disease? 1, track your expenses. When you're earning 20,000, create a kind of like go to Google Excel, or me, I don't like Excel, so maybe Google Sheets or Google Table. Just create a simple table, and just put out everything that you spend on every month with the 20k you're earning, and then do the same thing when you start earning 100k, the same thing when you start earning 1 million. Just track your expenses for after you have received the salary 1 million for 3 months. Track your expenses for those 3 months. What you will find is that, okay, this is what's taking my money. How come I earned 1 million this month and I earned 1 million this October and it's the 28th of October and I'm broke? I'm actually starting to reach out to people that my salary is coming in 1 week's time. Please, can I get 100,000? Can I get 150? I'm earning 1 million. When I was earning 100,000, I was okay. I'm earning times 10 of that and I'm still owing. How come? The first step is to accept that Parkinson's disease has come as it has grabbed you. Acknowledge it. Don't be proud. Just know that Parkinson's disease has set in. Once you acknowledge that, then you track your expenses. How did this 1 million grow wings and fly? When you track your expenses, what you're actually doing is you want to know where every cent, every naira is going. Track it. So which means don't just pay money out of pocket. Try to pay money through apps so that they can send you a receipt that you can track. And maybe what I do, what me and my wife does, is that we created a group and we called it expenses group. So every money she spends, she usually doesn't spend 98% of the time. She doesn't spend out of pocket. She spends using these the ATM cards and transfers. I do the same. So everything with, in fact, as simple as basic as 100 naira recharge card, I will put the receipt there. It was strenuous initially, but I'm seeing the maximum. I'm enjoying the maximum benefits now. No matter how small the amount is, don't say it's 15 naira, 15 naira. No, every amount, send it to that group. And at the end of 3 months, I told my wife, you know what? Help me track our expenses. Why are we looking for money before the month has even ended? And I know we are earning so much. So what's going on? You'll be surprised what we found. It's private to us, so I can't share it to you. So, but you do that. Track your expenses. Know where every cent goes. When you have done that, then you move to step 2. What is step 2? Step 2 is to create a budget. So now when you know where all the money is going, then you will also, from these 3 months expense tracking, you will now know, okay, this is what we usually use money for. Okay, we buy water. Okay, we buy fuel. Okay, we pay children school fees. Okay, we spend this on food. Okay, we spend this on this. We spend this on subscriptions. We spend, you begin to those 3 months expenses will also make you know what are you naturally spending money on every month. Then you now create a budget and say, okay, fine, we used to spend 50,000 on data before. Now can we try to reduce it from 50,000 to 30,000? Okay, we spend we spend about 40,000 for DSTV, for example, subscription. Okay, is there something else we can watch, or can we reduce the plan? Maybe instead of premium plan, can we reduce it to something less, and so that we can spend 28,000? You begin to do that, and then you create a budget. You create a budget and ensure that you do this thing that I'm about to share with you. Start with this basic one. I call it the 10, 20, 30, 40 rule. 10, 20, 30, 40 rule. What's the 10, 20, 30, 40 rule? If you add 10 plus 20, 30, 30 plus 30, that's 60, 60 plus 40, that's 100%. So split whatever income is coming into 10, 20, 30, and 40. How do you break it down? You 10% of in this budget that you have created on Google Sheets or Google Docs or Google Table, 10% of your income, pay it as tithe. I know there are a lot of people that have been saying a lot online about, should we pay tithe? I think that's a young folk ask potential question. Should we pay tithe? Should we not pay tithe and all that? When I talk about the episode, I will share what my thoughts are on it. But for now, 10% tithe, that's spiritual insurance. You pay 10% tithe as spiritual insurance. Then you pay 20% of your inflow as what? You pay 20% as 10% as tithe, 20%, save 20% of what you're earning. Then 30% use it for wants, 40% use it for needs. Now this 30 and 40 can be fluid, so that means you have 70% to meet your needs, to meet your lifestyle, to meet your wants. 70% of what you earn, you can use it for your wants and your needs. But please don't joke with this 10%. 10% should go for tithe, 20% should save 20% of your savings, of your income. 20% of your income must be saved at the minimum. 10% for tithe, 20% savings, then 30% and 30% for wants, 40% for needs. But that last part, 30% and 40%, can be fluid. You can just know that 70% of your income is for wants and needs, if you get what I'm saying. And if you apply this formula, you will begin to see changes immediately. All right. Then what do? Number 3, after you have done this, avoid death. They call it debt, but death. Avoid death by all means. Anything that you do not have cash in hand to purchase, wait till you have cash in hand. I'm not going to say more about that because of time. Automate savings. There's something I do. I don't want to mention the name of the brands, because they have to pay me for that. But there's a digital app I use, such that I tell them that every day take out X amount from my savings, my normal spending account. Take X amount. So, and it does it so seamlessly, I'm not even aware. Then one day I check my account and it's empty. I'm like, shit. I don't want to stop. I don't want to touch my emergency funds. I don't want to change maybe dollars to naira. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. So how do I get the money I need to sort out this 10,000 bill? And then I'm like, oh, I told this digital bank to be taking X amount from my account every day. Then I go to that account and check what I have. Sometimes I see 56,000. I'm like, when did this thing ever save 56,000? In fact, let me come straight to you. I used to tell it to take out 2,000 every day. As simple as 2,000 naira is every day. It takes it, I don't feel it. I don't feel it could well be tax or whatever. It doesn't affect the account at all. But when I need 10,000 to get something done, maybe I want to pay for whatever, and after that, oh, not only, so I have 10,000, actually I have 56,000. Do that. Number 4, oh no, that's automate savings. Number 4. Number 5, avoid Parkinson's disease. See, you've known what Parkinson's disease is. Avoid it. When you are earning 100,000, you have a certain lifestyle that should be below that 100,000. When you're earning 100,000, if you are saving 20% of what you are earning, that means your lifestyle is 80,000. When you are earning 1 million, since you are saving 20%, which is 200,000 of what you are earning, your lifestyle is 800,000. You can reduce it further because the more you earn, the more you can afford to even save more. But let's even start with 20%. Start small. So when you're earning 1 million and you save 20%, which is 200,000, your expenses for the month should be 800. Anything that will make it go to 810, perish it. If you keep doing that, you will avoid Parkinson's disease. I'm speaking from personal experience, Then number 6, find ways to make more money. Instead of you to spend more or try to take out of your savings and start still putting it into wants and needs, look for ways to make more money. People talk about side gigs. You can have your main job and you can pick up. We are in the era, we're in the economy now, we're in the system now, we're in the era now where a one-man job, I think I'm going to take another Young Folks Ask episode on that you should not be operating a one-income economy. Talking about you. Don't be like Nigeria that we are doing like a one-income economy. Have multiple economies. You have your main job, have other things on the side that is bringing money. It might not be as much as the main job, but it's bringing money one way or the other. And then finally, invest or tie down money. Investment is a very sensitive topic. A lot of people have invested, especially even in Nigeria, and they've gotten hot. So I don't want to go too much into investment. If you cannot trust any, and there are apps now, even Piggyvest, let me just mention it. Piggyvest has some investment opportunities. I've never invested in any of them, but you can just begin to look for other examples like that where you can put some money, forget it, and eventually it gives you money. Don't go for all those Shogun Dogoji types where they are promising you 10% per month. That one is 99% likely to fail. But there are some that will say, okay, 10% in a year, and then backed up by some stuff. Do your research and invest, or tie down the money. Buy an asset, something that that if push comes to shove, you can sell and get your money back. Okay, having said that, we are coming to the end, and then we'll talk about a biblical reference. And this biblical reference in Proverbs 21:20. What does it say? It says, the wise, are you wise? The wise store up choice food and olive oil, but fools gulp theirs down. That gulping is Parkinson's disease. You gulp everything. So Proverbs understands Parkinson's disease. So it's saying the wise store up. What does it mean store up? Save, invest, put something down. Don't eat everything. The wise store up choice food and olive oil. If you get money and you buy food, we did something like that recently. We got some money, some extra money that we're not expecting, so we went to buy food for like 3 months in advance, and now we are not having to worry too much about food for the next 3 months. Yeah, that's what it means, that the wise store up choice food and olive oil, but fools gulp theirs down. I'm sure it's very self-explanatory. So over to you guys. We've come to the end of this session. I'm sure you enjoyed it. Ask a question. What is the task for the day for you listening to me? Ask a question we can feature in a future Young Folks Ask session. The best comment, as usual, wins a surprise gift. Now, if you learned a lot from this episode, imagine Green Mentorship School. What you will learn from Green Mentorship School, the countdown has started. By December 31st, 2024, we're going to start the Green Mentorship School. It's my own give back to society, because on that day I'll be turning 40 and I want to give back. And the program or the school is free. We're going to be teaching you some principles. If what I'm teaching you, if Parkinson's is exciting you, imagine what will happen in what more I have to offer you in the Green Mentorship School. Green Mentorship School is where I'm going to be teaching you kingdom principles for success in leadership, for success in business, for success in the workplace, and for success in relationships or the family. 4 pillars. I'm going to be teaching you all for free. The first 500 to go to the description and then sign up. You will see Green Mentorship School. You will see the link. Sign up would get the whole program free, and then also you will see our what's it called? You'll see our Telegram group link in the description, where you can join our community and get information and updates and more value as they drop. And then what do I say at the end of this? Please subscribe, share this to someone that needs to hear it, and go to the comment section. See you in Green Area. Jesus loves you.